Can you guys tell I'm really pushing to justify this? What's up, guys? It's your boy Lim Crimmins, and we are back with our final video before D2R comes out tomorrow morning. I'm stoked as hell. Hope everyone's ready. Hope everyone got their copy, because I'm ready to not sleep for a week. But we're gonna pull through with this video anyways. Now, this is a video I've wanted to do for a while because I get made fun of so much, and I should have never brought it up, but it's actually really funny. In a video like months ago, I forget which video, but I mentioned how someone uses key bindings and how I thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. And then everyone in my comments was like, what the hell are you talking about? There's another way to play D2? And I'm like, yeah, I use the scroll wheel, don't you guys? And so that chain reacted into a bunch of friends always making fun of me. I'm kind of the scroll wheel guy. If there's anyone else who plays scroll wheel, let me know. So just to kind of out myself and bring some justification and some clarification, I started playing D2 back in like 2004, 2005 with my friend and his brother and his dad. I didn't have my own copies, so when I came over, I would play on their dad's laptop. Now, the laptop didn't have F keys, and if it did, they were all assigned to like actual things, right? So you couldn't reassign it in the D2 commands. You couldn't change F3 to, assign it to a skill. It was turning up brightness on the laptop. You couldn't reconfigure it. So as a makeshift plan, I was like, all right, I'll just use the scroll wheel because that was working. And like 15 years later, I just realized that no one else does that. And I feel like a fool, but at the same time, it works for me. So what we're going to do today in the video is go through kind of my process of using it. I don't have as many good characters as I did last season. I wish I did so I could showcase more builds with it, but basically I can play the game one-handed and you guys can't. So let's get this video underway. If you guys like this video, remember to sub and smash that like button so we get this video on every D2 player's homepage. Let's go, guys. So like I said, back in the day, F keys weren't possible because of the laptop situation. And I was like 9, okay? I didn't know you could reset the entire configuration of everything. So essentially you could have done, QWER for your pots and then, maybe your skills right below it because that's a lot closer. Because right now, 1 through 4, my pots, which I always have my fingers on, because I used to play a lot of hardcore, is like a full centimeter below my F keys. So to me that was just so like impractical to not have your hands on the pots, and you can just have your hands on the skills on your scroll wheel. And again, I'm not here endorsing the scroll wheel, I just don't know any different. I'm actually learning how to do key binding just so I can play both ways, but this is just what I've been unintentionally accidentally stuck with. As you can see in one hand, what we have today is a random light sork. It's not even good, but I have a hammered in video if you want to see more of this kind of stuff with a hammered in. I touch on it a little bit about halfway through the video. That is a lot more beneficial because as far as the sork goes, you can telly and then left click your main skill. So you don't really even need to alternate your right click skill, your offhand skill, if you will. Whereas a pally is, you might be on vigor and then you have to switch back to concentration if you're a hammered in, or switch to telly and then switch to concentration. So there's a lot more that goes on there, but for a sork there's really not too much that goes on. So again, one hand, this is all with the scroll wheel. I always have the main other skill right beside teleport, so it's just one scroll away, which is telekinesis, just to click things. But like shiv armor, obviously like you don't lose any time just scrolling back and forth. And basically I'll just try and showcase a bit of like one-handed play to show you that you don't really lose any time. This is norm, but I'm just showing you like doesn't matter what kind of target it is. And then of course you can just left click stuff too. So the main way I kind of justify the scroll wheel is because you can, multitask in between, so to speak. So sorks doesn't really matter because you can telly, but if you're a running character who doesn't have teleport, you can switch your skills in between each run click. So for example, click while you're running, and while you're moving still, you switch the skill, and you know, you don't lose any time like stopping, switching, and then going again. So as you can see, pretty much with every step, I'm able to change the skill, and I don't lose a single bit of time or stop at all. So I will show you again, except this time through the mouse cam. So you can see that it's just constant scroll wheel and left click alternating. So up, down, 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 up, down, up. You know, it's just like mentally a lot of shit going through your head. So switching skills in between walking is the main thing that makes this viable, in my opinion. Again, not endorsing, just justifying. This whole thing can be changed, I'm assuming, instead of having like this completely rigid setup where, you know, tab is the map, like just default setting, tab's the map, you know, enters chat, inventory, character, trees, skills, you know. I highly doubt there's a ton of people that have exact default settings that play with key bindings. So a character where it becomes a lot more complicated and actually looks very stupid on me is something like a summoning druid, because you have so many, you know, 8 skills that you're using like constantly. So it's going to be 5, 3, 2, 1, 1, 6, and then 1 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and then you're done, right? So like I said, you don't lose any time actually scrolling on the wheel, because, you know, that actual last summon before the next scroll takes up time, which allows you to scroll and not use extra time. So can you guys tell I'm really pushing to justify this? So like I said, this makes me look very stupid sometimes. So Gust is my main skill. That is F8. So for example, say one of my bears die, I have to mentally in my head look at my list of skills on my scroll wheel and count them. So this is F8, Gust. F1 is Spirit, then Dire, Bears, Heart, Vine, Ravens, Cyclone Armor, and then Gust again. Bears is 3 scrolls away. Spirit, Dire, Bear. And if I'm in the thick of it, boom, cast another bear, right? Say my bear's dead. Now that is slow as hell instead of just being on F8 and just going, you know, instantly to F3, right? I can't justify that. Scroll wheels suck for a character like this. And another really good example, if you want to see me struggle like an idiot, Season 2, I made a Curse Necro. I have a bunch of videos on it. You can go check it out. That is the same thing as the Summon Druid. There's like 6, 7, 8 skills that I'm constantly using. I'm scrolling, and as you know, curses look even more identical than summons do, so I got confused a lot of the time. Those heavy skill characters are not good at all for this kind of setup. But I've got no one but myself to blame. Again, fighting, my heart dies. Go back to heart. Spawn another one. There's a lot of mental work that goes on. Honestly, if I played key bindings, it would be a lot easier to say, oh, my heart died. Boom, spawn another one, F4, instead of, you know, being on Gust and then going, oh, scroll to F4. So that you do waste a lot of time, and it is detrimental. But the positive note about a character like this and the Curse Necro is that they're very passive characters, right? So you're not going to be, well, you're probably not going to be on the front lines of, you know, an 8-man map game where if you don't make the right move, you're going to die. You can pretty much be middle to back of the map, or back of the pack, sorry, and just kind of take your time and figure out what you're doing. So all in all, this is really stupid. I don't recommend it. It makes pretty much no sense for any characters, but like I showed with the Sork, it is beneficial sometimes. Maybe you want to eat a sandwich while you're playing D2, you know, you only need one hand, there you go, bada boom. Or if you're on hardcore and you're like so afraid of everything that you just have to have your fingers on your full rejuves and your pots the entire time, then you could justify it maybe, depending on the character, but pretty much everything else, key binding is obviously going to be way better. I've just been using this same thing for so long accidentally, like I said, that it's so hard for me to change my ways. And I personally, because I've been doing it for so long, don't notice any kind of detriment. So let me know on the scale of 1 to 10 how stupid you think this is. Can't wait to bring you guys some D2R content starting tomorrow. I'll probably still be playing PD2 here and there, but I can guarantee most of my attention is going to go to D2R. As always, guys, thanks for watching the video, and have a good one. Cheers.